Hey everybody, I appreciate you tuning in to another video here. If you would like and subscribe, I sure would appreciate it. So I'm going to go over, I fished the Kayak MS Muscular Sclerosis, I believe that's right, charity event on Lake, Alabama here last weekend. Great event put on by the Yak Shack. They were one of the people, and they gave out a ton of prizes. If you live in this area, man, you need to fish that event because they had more prizes than they had people. People were, even me, I was giving away my raffle tickets, my winning raffle tickets to other people because I had won so much stuff. Not only did I win big fish in the tournament, but also won like a nice Columbia Eddie Bauer, like a Columbia button-down style shirt. Said Kayak MS, that was nice. I won a bottle of bourbon, nothing fancy, but it's bourbon. And a $50 Shell gas gift card. So yeah, big winner. So what I was going to go over, I'm not going to say I'm the best spinnerbait angler in the world because I'm not. It's just, it wouldn't be true. I don't throw it a whole lot, but the places I do throw it is generally places where I want to slow down. So for me, a chatterbait most of the time is going to be around grass, and a spinnerbait would be around cover. So I want to slow it down. I want to stay in the strike zone a little bit longer. I want the fish to, if they're feeding on any kind of little bait fish, spinnerbait's a great way to go. So what I used to win this weekend, I caught a few other fish on different things, but what I caught, all three that I measured on, 3-fish tournament, including one that was probably 7.5, is a 1/2 ounce War Eagle spinnerbait. Super simple. The water was clear. So, I mean, they were definitely feeding on shad. That's why I went with more of a shad color. But there was some color to the water. I wouldn't say it was clear. It was probably about a foot of visibility. So that's why I went with the gold and the silver. Silver, to me, would be more clear water. Gold would be a little bit dirtier water. And then white's usually a little bit dirtier water, too. If I want super clear water, I would go with like a blue glimmer. Something a little bit more translucent. And double willow, because the water was fairly clear, so I want to keep it moving so they won't get a real good look at it. Now, one different thing that you see on there is a trailer. A lot of people don't put one on there, or they'll use, there's a lot of great ones out there, like a Reaction Innovation Skinny Dipper, the little one, not Skinny Dipper, it's a Little Dipper, or Zoom Split Tail, the OG. But this is you can see behind me, I'm sponsored by X-Zone, but this is an X-Zone. It's the mini swimmer, 3.5 inch, fits perfect on there, looks good. It slows it down, so this allows me to fish a 1/2 ounce spinnerbait rather than a 3/8, because the boot on there, on the swim bait, gives it a little bit of lift. So a heavier spinnerbait and shallow cover, because the swim bait's giving it a little bit of lift to the 1/2 ounce spinnerbait, rather than using a 3/8, you can cast a little bit better. I really think same way with buzz baits. Putting some kind of plastic on there, it just gives them a little bit more to hold on to, or maybe a little bit more to focus on. I'm not sure whether it's the mouth feel to them of something other than just a hook, or it's just, a little bit more action in the place where the hook is at. I don't know which one's which. I usually don't fish a trailer hook. Every now and then I will, but if they're not getting it, I'm usually going to something else rather than putting a trailer hook on there. It's just me though. So there you go. 1/2 ounce War Eagle spinnerbait, white. If you fish a tournament, that's exactly the one I wanted on. I just changed out trailer because I'm going to use it again this weekend on Lake Mitchell and Retod as well. But I do that too. 17, it's a double, and Bradley Hallman, I think he has the best video on it. A double San Diego Jam, 17-pound Seagar Invis-X fluorocarbon. 2, I always hit stuff here. It's not a lot of room, but this is a 6'10" Falcon Expert head turner. It's a great rod. It's both for spinnerbaits and chatterbaits. Great rod for it. I like a little bit shorter rod with this head turner because it allows me to get, whenever I'm in tight to cover, it's better for that. I guess the only time I'd want to throw a chatterbait on a longer rod to me would be if I'm bomb casting over like grass flats. and then I would go to like a 7.3. But the 610, this is my all-around spinnerbait, chatterbait trailer. I swap back and forth between the two baits. And I have it on a Quantum Smoke. It's the S3, one of the newer ones, and it's the a 7-speed. So I use 7-speed on all mine. 6 would be great too. I prefer to have a 7-speed so that way I can swap my reels in case one blows up. And I just try to slow down a little bit more. Right now the water is pretty warm, so it's not that big of a deal. But in colder water, 6 would absolutely be better. But yeah, 7-speed is generally what I go. It is what I go with everything. I don't go up to 8, and I don't go down to 6 because I want to be able to swap my reels in case something happens out on the water. I need to swap a reel. So there you go. Simple. Sometimes the fish just line up. Caught a 22.5, and whenever I got spread it out for the tournament because they allowed an open mouth, it turned out to be 24. So I mean, it's probably 7.5 pounds. So it was super thick. Spawn or pre-spawn, I'm not sure if it was actually spawning underneath that laydown, but there was a little bit of current, and that's really what I was doing. I went way back into a creek. There's a big, huge Alabama bass trail. If you don't know, that's like the biggest two-team tournament in the state. Everybody fishes it. The Wiggins, Jordan Wiggins, Jesse Wiggins, Gerald Swindle. A lot of people jump into that event that live here in Alabama. The Lee brothers. It's a big deal here in Alabama. But the fish I caught was bigger than any fish in that tournament. They had a 6.5, and mine was probably 7.5. I didn't weigh it. But great fish, but I was just going way back into a creek as far as I can go in the Hobie. And just whatever side of the bank had the most current on, wherever the current breaks were at, the biggest laydowns, but really fishing all of them. I flipped a lot too later in the day, but didn't get a better bite doing that, just some dinks. I think I caught 4 smalls and then 3 good ones. I measured at 19.5, 17.3, or 19.75, 17.5, and 22.5 whenever I close them out. 24 with open mouth. So yeah, good day. Had a good time. Great fish. I would have won it no matter what, even if I hadn't caught that big, because I won it by, I think, 13 inches. So just my day. The fishing pressure with Alabama Bass Trail made it really tough. So yeah, just trying to find some water that boats couldn't get to was really my whole goal. But yeah, super simple. Caught them on one bait. Sometimes it just goes your way. This is one of those days. I appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe. More videos on the way. Y'all have a good one. Be safe out there.